You're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you take your pain and play with it. This is Nancy Norton. I'm a comedian, former nurse, and a keynote speaker about the power of humor. And I just want to say, I just came off the road. I did 19 events in 18 days. I don't know how. And to some of them were 2-a-days. There was Nurses Week in there, and I apologize that I wasn't able to upload an episode last week because I was just overwhelmed. And I love what I'm doing and had so many wonderful shows. Did an event at Fort Carson Army Hospital down there in Colorado Springs. Nurses Off the Charts. Thank you, everyone who came out to Nurses Off the Charts and shared a story. In Indianapolis, there was a keynote presentation for sex assault nurse examiners. What a gift they are to the community, and what a lot of trauma they absorb and witness. The power of humor is very helpful to folks that are dealing with so much trauma, get those stress hormones out of our body. I just want to thank those nurses, and also they helped me witness a sexual assault that I went through. They witnessed, they held space, they helped me name my attacker. I mean, I went there to help them, and then they ended up helping me halfway through my presentation. But I really just needed them to know, wow, this is what you're doing. We can't make it like that sexual assault did not happen, but having somebody hold space, believe you, and care for you in that vulnerable state, it's a powerful gift that they give. So I want to thank them. And then I had a webinar on the 16th, and here I was just broadcasting from my studio here in Boulder, but then during the presentation, there was a tornado, and these nurses, they are preceptor trainers, and the event hosts, all of a sudden, all the cameras went off for the panel, and I was like, my abandonment issues, it's all about me, right? They don't where'd they go? And they're like, we had to run to the basement because there's a tornado. And then they continued to do the presentation, even though they heard the sound of a tornado. They heard something like a train, and there's been devastating tornadoes. So much going on. And this week's guest is going to address another thing that's going on in the news right now. I just saw on the news tonight that President Biden was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. It has metastasized to his bone. It's just a coincidence that my guest this week is a prostate cancer survivor and has a show called Just a Prick, where he encourages people to get the PSA test.
I say in my show that you can't laugh and worry at the same time. And,
it's true. It does. It gets you out of the fight, flight, freeze.
Get out to the comedy club. Just do something different. Go to the comedy club. You will thank yourself afterwards and say, I forgot all about my troubles. I couldn't think about any stress while I was there.
So, prostate awareness. And also use humor to help raise your NK cells that scan your body for cancer cells and viruses. And get yourselves checked, everybody. This guest also has a platform called Open Bar Comedy. And I just did a special on there, and it is kind of the yin yang to my dry bar comedy special. There's the family friendly, and then there's the all adult content. And my special is called Sippin' Whiskey and Talkin' Dirty. If you want to see the two sides of old Nance. And then there's a third side, which I don't know. That's not a comedy special. That's just my shadow side. Well, I think I should do a comedy album just called The Shadow Side. But here we go. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got a shadow side. Hey, everybody can get pushed to a point of snapping. That's why we got to keep using humor as much as you can. Try to take the tension out. There's a lot going on that, honestly, in this world right now that is just triggering me back to that sense of powerlessness around authority figures. We have got to keep laughing. We've got to keep each other company, stay connected. I have some more Moms Unhinged shows coming up and other events, so feel free to reach out to me, and you can find my shows at nancynorton.tv. That's nancynorton.tv, like television. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this episode, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is a comedian and the founder of Open Bar Comedy, which is a hilarious show. I love it. I got to be on it. Welcome, Ron Feingold.
Hello. It's so good to be here, and I'm honored to be asked to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks for making the drive to Boulder.
I love it. It's been a long time. I had a high school sweetheart that went to Boulder here, and I was at CSU. And tried to make it work. And I remember coming here every weekend. And just the vibe of this city. I haven't felt the vibe of this city in such a long time. There's such a cool vibe.
Isn't it nice?
I love it.
I mean, for people that are sensitive to energy, there is something here energetically that just opens my crown chakra and my heart chakra, and it helps me be creative.
Yes.
And it invites me forward. I just feel like I'm invited outside. I need to go outside more, I got to be honest. There's a lot of beauty out here.
I believe in earthing too. I mean, you know about that, like sticking your feet in the ground for a while and
yes.
getting your electricity right with the earth. I really believe in that stuff. I think it's and doing a mat that does the same thing.
I just bought one for my bed. I have an earthing mat on my bed.
Okay, so you just bought it and you've slept on it?
Yes.
Yet? How many nights?
I was just on the road for a few days and I missed it. It tends to help me sleep better. Do you have one?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I want to hear what is it working for you?
I don't know if it's a placebo, but it is. Because I tell myself, and because what I have, I read about it, how to do it, because it's best if you have contact with it. And I have tactile issues.
Okay.
There are some that feel more like sheets, but mine feels more like a mat. And it said, I just put it at the foot of my bed and I put my feet on it.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. If you're grounded, you're grounded.
Right.
And we are electromagnetic beings.
That's correct.
We are of this earth. We are animals. We are meant to be walking on this earth. And yes, it's best, I think, to walk barefoot, get your feet and your hands out there in the dirt.
You and I are on the same page with a lot of stuff.
We are.
Like Gary Brecka, if you're familiar with him, he's kind of a social media, I don't know, star is a good word, but he's just a very well-informed biologist. And he really gets to the science and the biology of why you're tired or why grounding works.
Oh, I'm going to check. I want to put a link to him.
Gary Brecka.
I'll find it and put a link in the show notes.
Brilliant.
It's so cool that you brought that up out of the gate.
Yeah.
Because I just got home. I've been on the road for about 4 or 5 days. And I mean, I was so happy to get my little feet back on that grounding mat. And I've bought a smaller one. I forgot to bring it, but I'm taking it on the road with me.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
How much is it, if you don't mind?
I'm trying to think. It was under $100 for the two of them.
Okay, cool.
And it came with a little tester. So like if you go to a hotel, you plug it into that ground outlet, the little circle at the bottom of the 2 slots. Don't want to get graphic, but yeah, there's a little circle at the bottom of the slots where you plug your thing and it says if it's grounded or not. Because some outlets, what I found out, when I have my light switch off, some of my outlets are dead. And I don't know. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. There's a tester that comes with it.
So it's like a biofeedback system on it. Okay.
Well, just to let you know if you're at the right outlet. And then I want to get one of those. I think I have one in my toolbox, like an electrical tester. You've seen those where they're outside and they show you whether you're grounded or not.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank you for sharing that up front.
Of course. I think
and then
cool.
Also this guy's social media is an amazing outlet. And I just did a webinar about therapeutic humor. I got to tell you, thank you for having me on Open Bar.
Oh, you killed it. I'm so happy that you joined this family. See, Open Bar is about freedom of expression, and it was born out of a lot of reasons that I won't get into. But I will just say, when you don't answer an email from Ron Feingold for a long time, this happens. So,
so maybe okay. I see. Where you wanted to have freedom of expression.
Yeah. And it bothers me that, comics can go to different venues and different places. And in a lot of places, we're asked not to say certain things. And it stresses out the comedian. And we're artists. It's like going, to a painter and saying, you can color whatever you want, but you just can't use red.
Yeah.
No red.
Yeah.
And like it's not fair. It's limiting our artistic expression. So I've always wanted comedians to come in when they film with us. We do half-an-hour comedy specials, and when they come to us, I want them to feel comfortable on stage, that they don't have to watch their language and they can just be focused on being an artist, which is all I want them to do, just focus on being funny.
I love that. I felt that, and that's why I think that video that is going a little viral right now is it's such a part of me, and it's something that I couldn't do on another special I have, and I'm going to say the name.
Go for it.
Dry bar special. But I love my dry bar special. It actually is almost like, I used it as almost like an infomercial for my humor presentations because it's kind of corporate comedy. But more than that, it's like Mormon comedy. I had to not say anything about alcohol, LGBTQ. I'm trying to think. I don't know that they said that in the contract. It's I just kind of got the vibe, like, don't talk about sex. So, I mean, that definitely was in there. There's all these filters, blah, blah. You don't,
or even divorce, I've heard.
Divorce. There's
Farting.
a list. Yes, I got spanked as a kid for saying fart.
Really?
So for me, there's a part of me that likes to drop F words because, come on, I'm not kidding you. I had a strict childhood.
Oh my gosh.
On Traumedy, we love to talk about let's just jump into your childhood.
Okay.
I'm curious, where did you grow up?
So I'm an Air Force brat.
Oh, really?
We moved around a lot. My father retired as a colonel in the Air Force when I was in college, maybe my junior, senior year in college. He was a colonel in the Air Force, and then he retired.
Wow.
But we moved around every 6 years or so. Most families moved around every 3 years, and we bitched about a lot and didn't want to move as much. So started in Washington, D.C. from my father, we'll start from the beginning. Bloomington, Indiana, my dad was getting his PhD, and I was planned between semesters, I was told. So, and then he got his PhD, his doctorate, and they moved to Washington, D.C. My father worked in the Pentagon.
Wow.
And I remember running around the halls of the Pentagon when I was a kid. He'd bring me to work sometimes, and it was just really cool, big halls. You could just run down, And then we moved to Montgomery, Alabama when I was 6 years old. And this is a white Jewish boy coming to the deep South, the segregated South still, 1977 this was. And it was a
Culture shock
for me.
Culture
big
shock.
Time. I thought black people spoke a different language because they spoke really fast. I couldn't understand what they were saying. And I was a Jewish kid. I was one of 3 Jewish kids in an all-Catholic school.
So you didn't go to the base. You weren't on base. You were in the community.
Correct.
And you
never lived on base.
What? A Jewish boy to Catholic school?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I started in the public schools in Montgomery, Alabama, and they were so horrible by second grade, my parents moved me to the private school. So it was called St. James in Montgomery, Alabama. You cannot have a pleasure penetrating device.
He's referencing the bit that I'm doing about the indecency laws. Somebody just messaged me today about that, and I'm gonna build another chunk around this now because of you, because of this thing going a little bit viral, and I'm getting so many funny comments. But one woman messaged me and said, "I want you to do a whole show on the indecency laws," and I thought, hell yeah, that's a great idea.
Great. Wonderful idea.
Because it's so much about oppression.
They're absurd.
They're absurd, and it's just what's decent and what's indecent in this country is indecent. Like,
who the fuck are you to define it?
Right. And also we don't care about gun laws, but we care about a deal don't.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a deal don't.
I love that.
Deal do not, deal better not.
Repeating it. You've seen all those comments that says "deal don't," and there's a laugh emoji. That's such a great line.
It is. I'm so grateful for it.
Right.
I used to sell dildo t-shirts. But yeah, so you were there in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yes, Montgomery, Alabama. And then we moved to Colorado Springs when I was 12 years old, and that was life-changing too. I met my best friend. It's for 40 years. We're still best friends. And I went to college at Colorado State University.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a liberal college, isn't it? No, Colorado State. CSU. I was thinking of Colorado College in Colorado Springs. Sorry.
You are correct.
Okay.
It's just a ski school. It's an agricultural school is what they call it. But it was 4 years. I had a college sweetheart there that cheated on me 5 times. It caused my first real big trauma in my life. Cheated 5 times.
Trust betrayal is so hard.
It was horrible for me.
I mean, when your heart is wide open, and was that your first big love, or
huge? Yeah. I mean, I had a high school sweetheart too, and she came to school here. So she went to school in Boulder, and I went to school at CSU. And her father was like, "You're never going to marry this Jewish guy." She was very religious, and the father broke us up pretty much and said, "I'm not going to let you marry." I wanted to marry her.
That's your high school sweetheart.
High school sweetheart, yeah. And so she just kind of ignored me after a while, and we broke up. So because her father really wanted it, and there was distance as well, and it was hard. So I met my college sweetheart my sophomore year in college. I was a resident assistant in the dorms, and we worked together in the dorms. And she ended up cheating 5 times when I started going on the road as a comedian when I was like a junior and senior in college.
Wow, you started comedy so young.
I started at 19 years old.
You're such a baby.
Yeah. I used to sneak into Jeff Valdez Comedy Corner, and I remember you were playing there too. Remember Anna Beta? And
Yes, Anna Beta.
Yeah, I would sneak in. So remember it was on Union. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where it was. But yes, I believe
there was
you.
the other club, and there was an entrance, and then there was the exit from the showroom, and I would enter through the exit of the showroom because I couldn't get in the other way. And I would just hang out and just act like I was, one of the comics and everything, and just meet people like that. And I would watch like Roseanne and Sinbad do their because they had a show called Almost Live that Jeff Valdez produced.
Wait, what year? What year was this?
Okay, so this was around 1987, 88, 89.
Okay, I moved to Colorado in 91, so I'm trying to remember.
So you probably never went to that club.
I don't think I did. I think I only remember it at the location where it is now, Looney's, and that's where you sometimes shoot the open bar.
That is
not
correct.
The open bar. Open bar.
Yes, we do it once a month there at Looney's, once a month in Sarasota. At a club called McCurdy's Comedy Theater, which you would destroy the place.
Actually, I've played there.
Okay.
Believe it or not, Les McCarty was one of the judges at the Boston Comedy Festival.
Oh, cool.
So when I won that, he asked me to come headline down there, and I did love it. It's a great room.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and he's great. And his wife, what's her name?
Pam.
Pam. They're a great couple.
Yes.
I mean, just a shout out to Eric, the owner of Looney's, Eric
Yes.
Hawkinson, and Les and Pam. It's a rare find to find these comedy club owners who are just the coolest people who treat you like family, not like a commodity.
Yes.
There's a lot of comedy clubs that you're more of just a commodity to them, and they treat you like a whole person.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Eric is like a brother to me. He's given us opportunities, and we've partnered together with Open Bar, and it's been wonderful. He's been such a great partner with it, as well as Chris Collette, who's also a partner in the business. And then Les and Pam, they've always treated me like family. And just so welcoming. And Bronwyn, if you remember her, just the people that work there at the club. It's just
I do remember Bronwyn. I got to
amazing
go
with them.
back there. Last time I was there, my son was still a little kid. I mean, I won that festival, whatever it was, 2018, blah, blah, blah. But I just remember I had to take him on the road with me, and we were doing summer algebra classes. It was crazy. But back to we were talking a little about traumedy and the trauma, and you were saying like, your partner or your ex partner, she cheated on you 5 times. It sounds like you kept trusting. Like, did you find out about them all at once, or was it sequential?
It was sequential.
So you kept giving her another chance.
I was an idiot. I was so
it feels like
insecure.
Well, but you're also in love, perhaps.
It's 21.
Come on, trauma bonds are real too. Like when we love someone, it's like you don't want to lose her.
I didn't.
And we were just talking about some of our attachment styles. And a lot of comedians have anxious attachment, and it's like we are, at least in my recovery program, we are terrified of abandonment. So we're like, we will do anything, like, especially they give us just a little glimmer of hope, like, I won't do it again. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like Lucy and the football.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening. And I kept on giving her chances. We even got engaged at one time, and then she cheated again while we were engaged. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So that was in about 1993. 94 actually. I graduated from CSU in 93. 94 I hit the road immediately.
Congratulations on your graduation. What was your major?
Psychology.
Oh, really?
It's the only thing I found interesting to study, really. But I wasn't planning on doing anything with it at that time. So I went on the road and just starved for about 6 years. And those first 2 years on the road, she was cheating on me and everything, and we ended it. So I ended up with a gal that used to be a study partner of mine. And I realized, one of the things that I found out about myself is that I would be searching for somebody that was more sexually compatible with me than anything else. I was looking for more sexual compatibility than personality.
That was your priority at the time.
It was.
Well, you're a young man. Testosterone's really high. And, craving connection, sex is pretty good.
It was a fun 20s. So maybe that's why they call it the roaring 20s back then. It was fun. So, and then I was on a ship, and I met let me back up. So I had this girlfriend from college that we were sexually compatible and everything, but I just didn't see it going any further. Because,
that was your study partner?
Yes.
Okay.
And I couldn't see it going any further because I couldn't be myself around her. She couldn't accept the fact that I was a comedian and I'm a goofball. I'll make the waitress laugh every time we go out. You
Yeah,
know?
she wants you to stay in that lane of like be the macho man or something, or not be,
Or just shut the fuck up and don't fuck with the waitress, Just don't be this goofball funny guy all the time.
Okay.
And I'm not on all the time, but she didn't like my sense of humor.
Okay.
So,
well, that's a deal breaker.
yeah. So we broke off that. And then I met my wife on a ship that I was working on, like with the first cruise ship that I was working on. And we formulated a really great week together, just had a week together on the ship. And then she lived up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I moved up there. And about 9 months later, we were engaged.
Oh, wow.
So, it's been 28
I love
years
Minneapolis comedy scene.
Oh,
I
it's
think
the
it's
best.
great. I used to play Acme every 6 months, and I love that club. It's another hot club. Is it still there?
Yes, Acme is still there.
I haven't. Yeah, because after I adopted my son in 2004, I stopped touring, and then now I do mostly corporate gigs. So I haven't been back up there. I missed that club though. That was one of the hot ones. But so, do you think that humor played a part in your coping, or maybe still does, or even as a child? I don't know. When did you start feeling funny, or know that you had a sense of humor?
Well, I should back up.
Yeah.
Because I said that my first real experience with trauma was with that girlfriend that cheated 5 times, but not really, because my mother was abusive. My mother was physically and verbally abusive, but more physically. I mean, my mom kind of hit us until she saw blood, and then she'd stop.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I would even wait, till my father got home to clean myself off, just to show him what she did,
Because you needed a witness.
I did. And it never was resolved, and they divorced at the right time, which was, good for them and their health. But I was never.
How old were you when they divorced?
The first time they brought it up was I was 16 and I blew a gasket. So they stayed together another year because of my selfish ass. So 17 really is when they divorced.
So you dealt with that abuse then the whole time. I mean, you probably would have anyway. If they had divorced, you'd be alone. Maybe it was out of self-protection. I wouldn't say selfish. I mean, maybe you knew if I don't know, if I go live with my mom half time, I'm not even going to have a witness.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I ended up living with my dad after that. I moved out. She was very unhealthy to live with. She was having boyfriends immediately and everything. And I'm like, what the hell? You just got divorced and you're dating this. She was like 50 something at the time, and she's dating some 70-year-old man. I'm like, what are you doing dating this codger? So
now that I'm in my 60s, I'm like, ooh, 70 sounds sexy to me. I got to tell you, Ron, if there's any 70-year-old men out there who want to build a tree house, hit me up. Codgers. That's my dating app, Codgers.
Codgers.com. Close to your living will. So let's see what happened.
So you lived with your dad.
With my mom, it was unhealthy. So I lived with my dad. Had a great senior year in high school because of it. Just very free with my sweetheart. And I would go back in a heartbeat to that. It was great.
And that's Colorado Springs?
That was Colorado Springs.
Oh.
Yeah. My first professional theater job was at a place called Bob Young's Cabaret. And it was melodrama. It's right at the entrance of the Pikes Peak Highway on 24 out of Manitou Springs.
Oh, is it still there?
The building is still there. It's a wine shop now. It's like a little charcuterie wine place. But it used to be the theater, Bob Young's Cabaret, and I would make $30 a show. Wow. I would take every cent that I made, and I got my pilot's license with it.
Look at you go.
Yeah. I was going to be a pilot.
You're a daddy's boy a little bit that way.
Well, he was in the Air Force, and he was a pilot as well, but he wasn't a pilot in the Air Force. He was a computer guy.
Okay.
He was in charge of all the computers in Cheyenne Mountain. Remember War Games and all that.
You got your pilot's license.
Yes. I got my pilot's license when I was 17 years old. Wow. And it was a way of, I thought it was a great, because I didn't have any game and I didn't have any muscles. All I was funny and a little bit smart, and I loved flying. So I thought that would be a great way to take a girl out on a date. But I didn't realize that no 17-year-old girl is going to father is going to let her go in an airplane with a 17-year-old horny boy trying to, join a club, So it kind of backfired.
Did you ever make out it up in the sky like that?
I never took that chance.
I was going to say, you're flying. You're the pilot. Come on.
Girlfriend's father wouldn't let her go up.
Or down.
Or down.
Folks.
And it took forever to get my wife to go up with me in the air. So the weird thing is in January of 2020, I announced that I was going to retire from full-time road work. I'm never going to retire as a comedian. But January of 2020, I'm retiring from full-time road work after this year because I'm going to become an airline pilot. I bought into an airplane. with a neighbor of mine, and I started training to get my instrument rating and my commercial license, and to become a pilot.
Because that had been a goal. That's been a dream of yours.
It was when I was a kid, but I was scared out of it because my eyes were too bad. But I'm LASIK. I have LASIK, so I'm 20/20.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I could never do it with these divergent eyeballs. I think that my dad was colorblind. He was in the Air Force, but he was not allowed to fly either because he's colorblind. The whole red-green thing is so important with the starboard port dealios.
Yes, it's sad for some guys, because that's a dream.
Oh,
and, I would have loved to fly jets, but I wore glasses, so it wouldn't happen. And I was never going to join the military. I didn't want to do that. I had enough of the military stuff with watching what my father went through.
So I love that you're doing this. Okay, so 2020.
So 2020, I announced I was going to become an airline pilot, and then March of 2020 happened.
Yes.
And that just took me out of the game because all these other pilots were losing their jobs, and it just would have meant that I would get where I wanted to by the time I was 60, and it's just a dumb move. So I didn't go down that route anymore. So I started, I found another airplane that I was going to just do touring with and teach people how to fly it. It's a really cool amphibious airplane called a Cygnet, and I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
Cool,
show me a picture, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes if anybody wants to see what a Cygnet is.
It's got a glider wing, and it has amphibious floats as well as wheels, so you can land it on the water, you can land it on land,
fun.
and it's a really cool thing to fly.
Will you go to Alaska with me in September? I have a gig in Homer, and I'm having I have little time constraints. I need to get from Anchorage to Homer. I'm serious.
I would love to.
No,
I will
no
bush
pressure.
pilot you around Alaska, even though I've never been there or never done it. You don't want me flying that.
Okay, never mind.
So that'd be a bad decision. So I started training on this thing and spending a lot of money, and I had one in my garage, and I was going to solo on it. And long story short, my instructor came up. We almost crashed in it. So that scared the shit out of me, and I gave it back, got my money back, and I took that dream out. And I said, well, what can I do? And I'm trying to get something going as a platform, and I realized, you know what? Why don't I make my own platform? Why don't I create? I think that there's a niche for people that are, aside from the family comedy that is one niche, I think that there's something on the opposite side where I think more people occupy that space for freedom of expression.
Yes.
Not that one's better than the other, and I'm never going to say that. Everybody has their own choice and preference, and I'm cool with that. But I think there's more people on the freedom of expression side.
Right.
So I created Open Bar Comedy, and I contacted Les McCurdy in Sarasota and gave him the concept. He was on right away. He had gotten some new equipment from the government with the pandemic, and we decided to start shooting. So in April of 2022, we started shooting with Open Bar. In October of 2023, we started shooting in Looney's in Colorado Springs with Eric Hawkinson. And since then, we have over 641,000 followers at the moment on Facebook. And almost 35,000 subscribers on YouTube.
That is fantastic. Yeah. And again, of course, I'm going to put links to the show notes
on
that. And that's amazing. And you're one of those guys. I mean, the fact that I'm hearing you, like you are one of those guys that is a manifester. You're a creator. Yeah. You have a vision, and you have the ability, and you have the focus, and you have the drive, and it happens.
I believe most people that you will talk to about me will say that about me, that if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I don't talk shit really.
Yeah.
So I kind of keep my mouth shut about, blowing wind up anybody's ass about, delusions of grandeur with where I could take this. I stopped using the word hope and hopefully.
I'm so glad. This is so weird. Tell me why, because I have the same belief.
You don't do it either.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe in, it's great to have hope and all that, but whatever. I don't use it in my vernacular because I believe in speaking things into existence, and speaking things into existence makes it happen, and you manifest it. So that was a change that I made about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe, when I started Open Bar, and because I stopped using hope. And I said, when we get this done, then this is going to happen. Not hopefully this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. So this year, XM Sirius is going to pick up Open Bar comedians, and we are finally going to have some revenue with this company.
Woo!
And
dude, can I comment on what you said?
Please.
I get truth chills, and I'm done being in the closet about it. Mm-hmm. I really feel the muses, and I just got truth chills all up and down. Whoa. And a lot of it is what you said, co-creating with the loving universe. And I'm going to tell you, I had a mentor who's an amazing person. Her name was Patricia Raycraft. She had polio. She was about 20 years older than me. I met her in Boulder, Colorado, way back in 91. And I was out in the garden planting my garden. And she goes, "This is going to be a beautiful garden." And I said, "I hope so." And she said, "Let me correct you about something. When you say hope, you imply that you don't believe it's going to happen.
That's right.
So you need to stop saying hope, because hope implies you don't believe in it. Like it. So just say it is.
Yeah.
And so it is. And I used to get in arguments with my ex-boyfriend about this all the time, because like I'd be going home and he goes, "Oh, I hope you get home safely." And I'm like, "What? You're implying that you don't think I'm going to make it home safely?"
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a weird, funny thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get it, but you do, and the universe gets it.
Yeah.
And just it is, and so it is. And it's I like to, it is happening.
Yeah.
And it is.
I make sure the people in my space also do not use that word. The people that I'm working with, my partners, like, we're going to go get serious. Like, hopefully, man. I'm like, oh, that's right. We're going to do it, brother.
And we are doing it. I also like present tense stuff too. We are doing it. We are manifesting. And man, do you ever listen to Ram Dass?
No, I can't.
Ram Dass is this, oh gosh, what's his English name? Anyway, he's this amazing guru who was an heir to this railroad fortune, who denounced his fortune from his father, went on this quest in India doing a lot of LSD. He worked with Timothy Leary and stuff. He's got great lectures if anybody wants to listen to Ram Dass on Spotify. But one of the things I love that I just talk about, I've probably mentioned this on this podcast several times, this idea of, with traumedy, I talk about it because a lot of times we can get in our victim consciousness. It's a lower vibration. Things have been done to me. And it's true. We were victimized. You were victimized by your mother, by this, your trust was betrayed by this girlfriend. And those are true things. But he's always like, are we connecting with what has already manifested, which I do a lot and I'm working on.
Is that also ruminating?
It could be ruminating. Yes. It could be anytime you just feel that energy of like, I get back into almost like a inner child energy where I'm powerless, and it's just a different frequency, but it's also I call it my victim energy, and nothing wrong with it. Look, there's a time and a place, to acknowledge it, but then then get into this other consciousness of one with the Creator, because I believe we are part of all that is. We are one with the Creator. So are we identifying as that which is already manifested, the manifested, or the manifester? We're manifesting. And it's like, oh, it's such a switch. Once I start manifesting and creating, isn't that amazing how the energy changes, the frequency raises, and like there's a sense of empowerment versus powerlessness. Anyway, that's my little lecture.
I like it. I love it, actually.
It was a little lecture.
I should be transparent, though. I mean, as far as things that, to me, this is just me personally, as far as faith-based things.
Okay.
We talk about the Creator. To my own personal experience, I'm not religious. I was raised Jewish, and I kind of, I'm more in the school of the I don't know.
Okay.
And just because I'm more science oriented, I'm very science.
100% support your whatever. Yeah.
And if there's any kind of religion that I identify with, it's more Native American, and just that the earth is our provider, and that's what we have. If I was to worship anything, it would be the sun. But
and the earth.
But that's where my perspective comes from, is the earth. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that it provides everything that we need, and that it's observable.
Yeah.
I see it. It's empirical. It provides everything that I need. And I really don't, in my own personal journey, I would rather have connections with people as opposed to, just for me, spirit, or just thinking in my head that somebody's listening.
Yeah. Okay. And I actually love that, and I don't think it's mutually exclusive. If I believe we're made of whatever, it's all metaphysics, But I was thinking, so when you say, let's talk, so I took over the whole hope thing from Patricia,
yes,
which was co-creating with the loving universe, because I feel like I do believe in the law of attraction, co-creating with the universe. So, and also I love Mama Earth, Pachamama, I'm very much about honoring her and thinking in terms of seventh generation and the Native American spirit and respect of all beings, sentient beings included, animals, plants. But tell me when you say this differentiation between hope and we are doing it, so that's more of a personal mindset. is what you're talking about versus co-creating with the universe from my perspective.
It's more of my experience because I've failed so much.
Oh.
I have failed so much. I have put my energy into so many endeavors that in an effort to be independent and not have a boss, I have come up with entrepreneurial endeavors that have failed miserably. For example, I created something called flathead ads, which is just imagine a 7-foot inflatable with arms. And on top of that is and you can put this, I'll send you a picture of it.
Okay.
On top of it is a 32-inch flat screen TV, and it's a mobile advertising device where there's a guy inside this inflatable. He can walk around and sell tickets and advertise on the screen, as well as an iPad on the chest. And it's called Flathead Ads. And I got it patented and everything. I own a patent.
Wow.
And
that's a big process.
It was.
My brother's got some patents and I know a little about it.
Yeah, it's expensive, time consuming. So I got that done, and I couldn't find anybody to really get inside it to work. And I just shelved it. The weird thing is my son, who's now 21 years old, has taken it out of the garage, has improved it, made it so it can be in conventions and different venues like arenas to sell tickets, conventions for your booth to get attention.
Fascinating.
Las Vegas for the Strip. It's amazing. It could be downtown for the downtown
Ooh,
area.
I can't wait to see the picture of it. I'm trying to picture it.
It's really cool. I'll do it while we're talking, and I'll show you.
Okay.
The listening audience, you'll have to wait until this comes out. So the other thing that I had was something called Dollar Birthday Club. And Dollar Birthday Club was a way to donate money to your friend, as well as on their birthday, as well as give to a charity at the same time. So I set up this app where you can put all of your friends' birthdays in the app downloaded from Facebook when they let us. They changed the algorithm so we couldn't get the information anymore.
Okay.
And you could get all the birthdays, put them in your app, and so you know when all the birthdays are coming. And then you can send your friend $1, and $1 automatically gets sent to a charity of your choice. So $1 goes to your friends. So just imagine 200 friends that wish you happy birthday on Facebook send you $200.
Yeah.
You know, just $1 each. You know, so it's called Dollar Birthday Club. And then Facebook started doing their own thing, send somebody money on their birthday.
Yeah, I saw that. And their favorite charity.
Mm-hmm. And that went away. And but
the collective unconscious, or they stole it from you. It's hard to know.
I don't know.
But it's affirming at least that you had a great idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had a great idea, but it's crushing that you spent a lot of time and energy invested in something that got squashed because of the change of their...
Yeah, $50,000 down the drain.
So this, so there's a human that goes inside of this?
That's a 7-foot inflatable with arms and legs.
And somebody's in there.
And somebody's in there. You can see right below the logo there. That's the
where
the guy looks out.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's wearing a backpack.
And the head, so the flat screen is the head.
Yep.
And then he's wearing a backpack. Is that where the power is?
Yes, there's a backpack.
The fan that makes the thing and stay
all inside there.
Keeps him cool too when he's in there. Give him some oxygen. Well, it's got a little screen. He probably could get oxygen.
Yeah, there's some airflow in there, as well as we have a fan going on in there. And even if it gets really bad, we have a cool suit that...
Buy tickets here. So it's almost like a Teletubby, too, in the way that there's a screen right in the tummy.
That's right.
And then so they can touch the iPad.
Right. Like, there's always a handler that's with it.
Yeah.
Because people wanted to punch it.
I was going to say, or try and touch the wrong areas. Don't touch down below the screen. That's private.
So
there's a handler that comes with it, and then it gets attention. It's kind of... And also, I guess you could do you could have the LED, the readout be more of a face at times.
Well, you can have an interactive avatar on the screen, and the person inside there can interact with people if you wanted to.
Oh, that's really cool.
Microphone and all that.
So your son is interested. He got it out of the garage, and he's rolling with it. Flathead ads.
But I've had just endeavor after endeavor,
So the reason you catch yourself saying, when you say hopefully, that just it's like, let's back it up and then restate it differently, because the hope did not pan out. So we are doing it.
Yes.
And I know you've redone even this, like you've adjusted to things with open bar comedy, and now it's taken off.
I've had to. I mean, we had a growing process in the beginning. We had to deal with some quality issues because some cameras weren't set right, and we had some specials that we had to redo. We've had some specials get lost in the mail, and we had to redo them. I mean, just horrible things have happened. We've grown through everything.
Yeah.
So we finally have a well-oiled machine machine of things, content that is constantly flowing. We're constantly editing every week, and we're constantly putting out everything. So I'm extremely happy with the way it's worked out, and that how accepted it's been. I'm inundated by comics now that want to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is crazy. And I really think that, you have another special in you. Maybe you can come down to McCurdy's and do one down there and, do another week.
Yeah, when I work on more Indecency Act material,
Okay.
I'm serious. I really want to talk about that.
I think
because
it'd be great.
there's an insanity in this country about that sex is dirty, and I recently did a naked show, which I'm not saying I would do it for open bar, but it's tempting.
Were you naked?
I was fully naked, 100%.
No way.
And the day of the show, Chris Wellman, he's a local comedian. He does these kink shows, and he's all about taking the shame out of kink community. If you have a fetish, if you have something that turns you on, it's as long as it's consensual and the communication is high, do it.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. He has one show, it's called The Naughty Show, Knotty,
Okay.
and they tie up somebody while you're doing comedy on the side. This one, and then the day of the show, and I was ready to be naked, okay? I was ready. I'm 64. I was ready. I mean, and I'm pretty proud. I'm a plant-based diet. I
This
do
is
long
your
distance.
Tig moment, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I know Tig did that. I haven't seen that special, but it was more my moment to be like, I haven't had a mastectomy, but you might not notice. Folks, shout out to the A cups. Shout out to the A cups. The French.
A-cups.
I'm French. They say more than a martini glass is wasted, or maybe a champagne glass. I don't know. But anyway, that's a weird shaped boob, a champagne glass. What is the
I'll
saying?
take it.
Do you know the French saying?
More than a mouthful is a waste? I
A
don't know.
mouthful. Yes, that's what it is. Okay, so anyway, the day of the show, I'm just going to tell you, Chris texted us, like, how you get the Facebook Messenger, like, here's the show, here's the lineup, and oh, by the way, it's in the round.
Oh,
Like,
no.
are you fucking kidding me?
So you can see my tush at the same
I
time.
mean, the same time. And as much as I have stayed in shape, there's parts of my body that are not as good. And I was like, I was looking forward to backing this ass up against a wall. But anyway, it was in the round. But I got
And you did it.
I did it, and I got asked out on a date afterwards by
wow.
a 50-year-old.
Oh,
so I
shit.
was like, boom, bam.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Nance, I got a little sass in my
How
pants.
long was your set?
Oh, probably 15 minutes.
What if you went up there and I'm such a sick pervert. What if you get a boner? What if you just crack a
actually,
boner?
one of the comics, and I think it might have been Chris, who talked about taking Viagra because he didn't want to be
So it'd be a
small.
little puffy, yeah.
He didn't want to be small, but then it was like, I can't remember, the timing was off, and then it was really awkward. But what if you do get a boner? The community that came to see the show was also naked.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them. And it was in that sort of community where they're in the fetish community. So there's a lot of high communication. There's no body shaming. I think it would be fine.
Did you find anyone attractive there? Or were they kind of gross? You don't have to answer that, by the way.
No, I found a lot of people attractive. And, I'm pansexual. So I was like, I have to admit, I was like, I don't want to just stare, but I was like taking it in. And I'm acknowledging that. Like, you have a beautiful penis and I like the jewelry. Like, some of them had, I like a beautiful penis.
Okay.
I do. I like looking at
There's
them.
jewelry on it?
Yeah, some of them had some jewelry, had some little piercings with little chains and
yes.
stuff. I mean, it was they're very creative. But
Love
anyway, no
open-minded people.
shaming is what it is. And I think what you do too is about, like, let's not shame each other. I don't know where, I'm curious when I hear you say about not censoring. Now, as you know, I'm in a marginalized, like, LGBTQ. I'm a pansexual. I used to be lesbian identified. But now I'm very sensitive about, the whole Kill Tony thing. And I get that, like, punching down. I don't know how you feel about that kind of stuff.
I think it's an accident waiting to happen. As much as I love the opportunity for comics, I love opportunities for comics, and I love that Tony's giving them an opportunity. I believe that there's one of everything in this world, and sometimes somebody's going to get in that room and somebody's going to say the wrong thing to somebody, and somebody's going to take it the wrong way. I hope I'm wrong.
I know. But on open bar, you're like, do whatever, you do you. But if you hear, like, if you had somebody doing something kind of in that realm of, I don't know, harmful, say something really anti-Semitic, and we should do some violent thing. And you're like, wait a second.
That's
actually,
my line.
I do draw the line at what?
Correct.
Violence?
Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism?
Yes. Like, that's a perfect
Or
example.
any anti, do you also feel protective of other communities? Do you know what I mean?
They're going to be talked about, if it's coming across in a disrespectful way, I won't air that.
Oh, okay.
If somebody is just bringing the subject up, and talking about it and making it funny in some way, I'm okay with that because they're making it funny and that's their expression of it.
And it's better to be out in the open and stuff like that.
Talk about it.
But
and go to the edge, as well. But the moment it becomes disrespectful, the moment that it becomes, a joke just because it's an easy stab, then I'm not about that.
Yeah.
So I had a comic that, he said, "Fuck the Jews." And it was a sarcastic "fuck the Jews" kind of thing to say in his joke. He goes, "Any Jewish people here?" And nobody answered. He goes, "Yeah, that's right. Hey, yeah, fuck the Jews." And I didn't put that on. I took that out because I didn't think that it added to his art. And I don't think that it added to his special at all. And I wanted that kind of out. So that kind of stuff is what I take out. If he said, "Fuck the lesbians," and if it came across as disrespectful like that, then
yeah. Are there any? Because actually, I just did a gig recently where somebody was like, "Are there any non-binary people here?" And nobody was answering. And I'm the other comedian, and I do identify. So it's such the weakest. Like somebody else was saying this the other day, a trans, like it's in the trans community to be non-binary, but it's like we are the lamest, like non. You know what I mean? Like. I'm not only am I not completely non-binary, I'm only half non-binary. I'm like a she, they, so female identified, whatever, tomboy. But point is, I just said, yeah. And then he looked over at me because he knows me. And then it was like, I saw a shift like, oh, well, I have to do this differently because one of them is here. And I thought, you should just pretend like that one of them is always there.
And maintaining respect is what that should be status quo to me, is just be constant with your respect.
Yeah, because there are also the listeners on YouTube as well that are just like, but I don't know. We were just talking about earlier how controversy gets
stirs
views.
The pot and it gets engagement. Yeah.
It does. So I don't know, but I was just curious about that. Thanks for answering that question.
I just like open communication about things. Whatever you have to say, let's say it. I want to hear it. I might not agree with you, but go ahead. That's your freedom to say it. Go nuts.
I know. In some ways, it's better to be out in the open than like say a closeted bigot. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I've always been kind of an open, accepting person. Just whatever you are, just be genuine about it.
Yeah.
That's all I ask of you, is that you not hide behind any untruths and you just be genuine. Because that's one of my pet peeves, is disingenuous people.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before we were talking a little bit here, and there's something I wanted to acknowledge that I learned about you, and it's so thank you again for coming on. And I didn't know all this stuff about you. I love doing this. I always think when I'm in my 80s and I'm retired, I'm going to enjoy listening to these conversations again, because it's like, okay, I know people. I mean, you and I kind of like were in the scene, but we didn't really hang out.
No, but we started together. I remember seeing you at Tim's Club at McKelvey's a lot. That's
Tim
where
Tim Wardwell.
Yeah, and Tim's, yeah.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Memories. I love that place.
I know, me
too. It's a liquor store now.
Yeah. Well, and then there was Wits End, and you talked about Tig a second ago, and she and I bonded because her first paid gig was at Wits End.
With Cooney?
Yes, John Cooney. And she was the MC. I was the feature act. I forget who was headlining, but I thought, man, this is the funniest person I've seen in ages. Like, she just impressed me. Yeah. And then she got fired on Saturday. And then she's leaving the club. I'm pulling in, and I go, "Where are you going?" She goes, "I got fired." And she's so dry. I was like, anyway, there's a cartoon out there. I might put a link to that. It was just, we bonded because I was like, "Tig, please know that you're very funny. Some people should not be the MC."
And John Cooney was very difficult to get along with.
Well, but he was just matter of fact, like, "You don't work in my club." He paid her, and he was matter of fact. He was kind of gruff.
Oh, yeah.
But I know in reality, though, the audience did not get her. She's not a strip mall comedian. Like, I was telling her as she left, I go, "I wish I couldn't play at a strip mall." My blessing and curse is I can almost play anywhere. What I wanted to hear from you, though, if you don't mind, I mean, we kind of dropped into, you had some abuse with your mom, but I wanted to hear if there was any time where you used humor back then, and then again now, you got a diagnosis and have been dealing with some health issues.
Yes. So I would say when I was a child, I was the youngest, first of all. So I think you would find that the baby is always the one that's the funniest.
I'm not the baby.
Okay.
But my sister is funny.
I'm generally speaking.
I'm the fourth of three children.
Oh, wow.
Of three. It's a joke. Fourth of three that were wanted. Okay, go ahead.
Is that a fraction?
Yeah.
So being the baby and never listened to. My parents never listened to me. And, I remember being ignored a lot, or I would say something and nothing would be acknowledged. And I felt like my voice was silent. So then I realized that if I was funny, then I could get the reactions. So I started cultivating that as a very young child, that was my way of getting attention. I don't know if it was naturally or if I was conditioned to be funny just because of my situation. But I don't know where that came from, because my dad is a dry, funny, military humor, rank times IQ is a constant. It's just like, only you have to be in the military to really find it humorous. So, and my mother is, I never really bonded with my mother because she was abusive, and I was always kind of running away from her. And she wants to, have a relationship with me now. And we have an unhealthy relationship because I always see that angry woman. I can't accept her as, I haven't moved on with that, and I'm okay with it because I have surrogate mothers. So to answer your question, how do I deal with it? When I got a prostate cancer diagnosis May of last year of 2024. And I had some choices to make as far as how I wanted to get it treated. And I have a very great doctor that I've known for a long time. He's a urologist named Cygnet. And he's the kind of guy that writes books and, research, and he's into technology. And there's something called laser ablation, where I could just have a laser preserve the structures of my prostate so I can still perform, if you will.
Yeah.
And just zap out the cancer, because I had a biopsy and 1 out of 16 spots had cancer. So I was pretty lucky with it hadn't spread yet. So this laser just zaps that spot and then you're done. I had some complications. I bled really bad. So I had a catheter for about 8 days, and I had to go back into surgery to have the bleeding stopped. And I had something called a TERP, which has a whole bunch of other subsequent side effects, shall we say.
Yeah.
I can still perform and do things, but it's different.
Yeah.
So it's been an adjustment.
Big adjustment.
How did I cope with it? My way of coping with it was giving back to other people. And it's a pure distraction.
Yeah.
I had to distract myself, because otherwise I would have been going, I got cancer, 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 I got cancer.
Yeah.
Because it was ruminating and just rolling on a loop in my head. So what I did is I realized that most men are stupid about how they educate themselves about prostate health. Number one, they think that you have to go in and get a rectal exam to get a prostate exam, and you do not. All it is what's something called a PSA, and it's a blood test. So what I did is I called up a comedian and asked him if I could borrow a line from him, because he says, I went to a phlebotomist and get my blood taken out. And the lady, she's about to start, and she looks at me and she goes, "Little prick." How did you know? So I asked him if I could steal the line a little bit, and because I wanted to start an organization called Just a Prick.
Oh, brilliant.
So
look at you. You start another thing.
I did.
You're an entrepreneur.
I didn't mean to. And it's not really a 501c3, but what it was, it's comedy shows. And if you come to the comedy show as a man, we will give you a free PSA test at the, and it's just a prick, just to get the word out about it.
Is it done just with a finger stick?
No, it's a blood test.
It
You got to take a draw.
It is out of the vein.
Correct.
They have to take enough. They can't, it's not just a finger drop like with diabetes or something like that.
Correct.
Okay, but just a prick,
and we'll pay for it. Your ticket to the show pays for that PSA test.
Wow.
And my doctor, Cjo, would do all of the evaluations of any. We had we did one show already. It was a bad night. It was like a Wednesday night. It was dumb. I didn't have like an Andrea on my side to get this. Thing
the Facebook marketing.
Yes. So we did one show, and we got about 7 people to come in, and we gave them a free PSA test. But I want to take it on a more national level with Open Bar when we do shows.
100%. Yeah. You're going to save lives and actually save prostates too.
Yes.
Because if you catch it early, and you can do this ablation versus a prostatectomy.
Yes.
Because that is, I guess when people have it's men mostly, but I don't know. I don't want to gender people with a prostate. People that have the prostate out, it is hard to have an erection at that point, unless, there are these erectile implants and things like that.
I got a lot of perspective. When I started talking to other prostate cancer survivors and patients,
tell me.
I met a guy named Carl, and Carl gave me a lot of perspective, especially because he had a prostatectomy and a lot of he was taking hormones too, because any testosterone in his system would cause more cancer. So he's taking this medicine to take all the hormone and testosterone out of his body. So it makes him very depressed, no libido, and his sex life is over. No erections, no nothing.
Wow.
It's over. And, you can be creative if you have a great lover and an understanding person, but he can't really have sex again unless he got the injections or whatever like that.
Or the erectile implant.
He could have done that too, sure.
Yeah.
But when you, and that's what I want to press, with anybody listening right now, is never let a doctor convince you or talk you into just taking it out, because that's just an easy route to go. They just say, we got to take out your prostate, and then you have prostate cancer. We just take out the whole thing and you just be done with it. Don't do that, because that'll end your sex life. That will end a lot of your joy and pleasure with, if you enjoy sex, then it's over with. So my suggestion, and chemotherapy and radiation wasn't an option for me, because I didn't want to put those poisons in my body, and I didn't want the side effects that came with it, which were incontinence and erectile dysfunction. So the laser ablation preserves all the nerves for erections, and with the TERP, I guess the only good news out of it, I can pee like a 16-year-old again. So,
yeah.
But that's how I coped with it, was giving to other people and helping other people, so I could distract it from my own situation with just a prick.
That's amazing. I'm going to put a little disclaimer on this, only because I don't know as a nurse. I hear that you've talked to a lot of people. I got to think that there are men that have had a prostatectomy that will, in fact, figure out a way, that there may be a way. It might be very difficult, but there might be a way to still have a sex life.
It's an awful, awful thing to go through. And
yeah, it's
that's why we say find it early, so you don't have to go through these things.
Find it early so you don't have to go through that.
And it's just a blood test.
And if they find it really early, like you said, it's just the ablation thing. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, here's the other thing about it, though. It's not covered by health insurance, so I had to spend $8,000 to get this done. Not
really? Because, and this really frustrates me with our system, that there's so many things that aren't covered by insurance, when in fact there's so much better for the patient covered.
It makes no sense. I have another friend. His name is Clark Bartram, and he's 61 years old, and he's like a former fitness model, and he's just cut muscles. It's crazy. And he has prostate cancer. And he was able to afford a treatment that they only do they do it in America if you're dying and you're about to die from prostate cancer. It's the only time you can get it. But it's a very focused medication that he went to Germany to get. They just give you an injection. It goes right to the cancer cells. It's like very targeted. You get like 2 injections over 2 days, and then you go home.
Man, I know I've done some, I do these keynotes, the power of humor, for different organizations. And I did some for the Merck's pharmaceutical. It was called OWL, the Oncology Women Leaders. But they are creating so many more targeted biosimilars. There's so many breakthroughs in chemotherapy. That's encouraging.
But it was $50,000.
50 grand.
About 10 grand to get over there and be there.
And he had to go to a different country.
And then he had to go pay for it. And I, of course, didn't
Did
have
he have
that
success?
option.
Did he have success?
I think so, but I think he'll have to do a little bit of radiation because it spread into his lymph nodes.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I haven't gotten an update on how he's doing, but he's the most positive person you'll ever meet. And he is an alpha male. So, and he is like, this thing ain't going to get me. I am all about beating this thing. And the doctors told me after the radiation that I was going to feel this. I didn't feel it because I said I wasn't going to feel it.
Okay. You talk about putting it out there and manifesting.
He's so inspirational.
That's cool.
So, and at 61 years old, the way that he looks is just ridiculous. I would never take my shirt off in front of this dude. So the people that I've met in the process have strengthened me. Carl is just, he's an older guy. He's like 63 years old, and comedy has changed his life. He started, doing all these, comedy gigs, and it's his happiness that he found. He's like, I have prostate cancer. I just had a prostatectomy, and I want to, get all the bucket list items done. So I've met some very inspirational people through the process, and also realized, relatively speaking, that my situation isn't as bad as these other guys. I'm grateful.
It does kind of put things in perspective, that's for sure. Wow, Ron, I'm so excited that you're sharing all this and that you're doing all of this. And thank you for letting me be a part of Open Bar.
Oh, man.
Taking the time on this busy weekend.
Of course.
You just did a bunch of shows here in Colorado. And what's next? Where can people, what do they need to do? They want to see you. Where do they go?
So I'm going to the Oregon coast and doing the Chinook Winds Casino next weekend. We're going to be continuing our filming again in October in Colorado Springs. I'll be doing my week in Colorado Springs in November. I do a lot in Florida and on the East Coast and a lot for the Comedy Zone. So I'll be doing just some local stuff.
What's your website, personal
it's
stuff?
It's ronfeingold.com, RONFEIN gold.com.
It's gold.
Gold, yeah, fine gold.
Go find Ron Feingold. Go see Ron Feingold. And then there's tons of specials.
Yes, we have over 120 specials on our Open Bar comedy platform on YouTube. And one is released every week. I think we're actually at 130 right now, 132 specials. Nancy's is on there, and it's just, it is drop down funny, just fall on the ground funny. It's so good. I mean, if you weren't on our platform, I would be devastated. It
was really fun. Thanks for that freedom to do that. And also, I'm going to put in a little thing at the very end here. As somebody who's just studied therapeutic humor for the last 3 years and is a registered nurse, when you laugh, you actually raise your NK cells, natural killer cells. They're scanning your body constantly, trying to fight viruses and cancer cells. They gobble them up and get rid of them. And when you're under stress, your NK cells drop, and when you laugh, they rise. So make sure that you laugh, even when you don't feel like laughing. You can go, if you don't like old Nance's style, you go on there. You're going to find somebody that you resonate with. If you're struggling with stress out there, you're struggling with some sort of hard diagnosis, make sure you get many laughs. And you should get in like 300 laughs a day, and the wellness is coming your way.
Yeah, I say in my show that you can't laugh and worry at the same time.
Yeah,
and,
it's true. It does. It gets you out of the fight, flight, freeze.
Get out to the comedy club.
Yeah.
Just do something different. Go to the comedy club. You will thank yourself afterwards and say, I forgot all about my troubles. I couldn't think about any stress while I was there.
Yay. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you for having me. This has been wonderful. Thank you. That's enough.
I want to thank my guest, Ron Feingold. Find him online, ronfeingold.com, and you can learn more about his comedy shows and Just a Prick, which I think is such a great name. And, you got to go to openbarcomedy.com and find Open Bar Comedy on YouTube. Watch my special. Give me some lines. People have been giving me hilarious tags to my bits, and it's been so fun. Been adding lines that people have given me. And let me know if you know somebody who wants to be a guest on Traumedy. We will continue to do this as long as the guests keep coming, and they seem to, as long as the universe supports it. So here we are. Let us know what you need. I'm Nancy Norton, and we'll see you next time. And remember, no matter what, keep laughing.